you keep emphasizing that our relations with China has deteriorated, and there is no basis. The foundations have been destroyed. 88, 1993.
Destroyed is not the word I have used.
It has faded, let's say. 1988, 1993, they don't seem to, even Panchsheel, they don't seem to emphasize too much. Anyway, whatever it is. But now there is a new point of friction in the sense that the global south is available for leadership. And probably President Xi thought that he should not be party to the rise of India as the leader of the global south. Could it be a reason why he didn't come to Delhi?
No, I mean, there are two different issues, if you would permit. Why, China was represented at the level China was, it's a question which we can only speculate, you can have your…
Even if a secretary can sit there.
Yeah, you can have your guess, I can have my guess. So, I put that aside. I think the issue is today there is a very strong sense which had started building, I would say, about a decade ago at least. It started building with the inequities of globalization. When people saw, countries saw that their products, their manufacturing, their employment came under stress. Their markets were flooded by goods which came from elsewhere. Many of them, it seemed like their only utility in life was to be resource providers for other economies.
Right.
Now, these countries, I would say their distress really grew over the last 15 years, 20 years as the globalization process unfolded. So, there is an underlying resentment and pain built up over 20 years about the unfairness of the global economy.
Right.
On top of it came COVID, which aggravated it because it showed stark divides. It showed vaccine access, travel access, health access.
So, the differences were accentuated.
Yeah. Then came the next one, which is the Ukraine conflict, where energy prices went up, food prices went up, and much of the world was not bothered. So, today if you look at the totality of this, it's this is not where it is different, I would say, from G77 and things like that. There is a new reality and a new sources of concern and even anger building in the world over the last 20 years. That anger is, some parts of the world are focused on themselves. Some parts of the world are actually today having using us as a extractive resource. The idea that in the name of free trade, if economies of countries, social fabrics of countries are being destroyed because you are being flooded with cheap goods. So, there is a whole sentiment out there.
Won't the West develop a kind of anxiety about this kind of solidarity growing?
No, it's not no, I think the West to some extent even appreciates, for example, it is today not the West which is flooding the Africa and Asia with goods on a massive scale. So, I think we need to get over this old syndrome that there is West the bad guy and there is the developing countries. Right. The world is more complicated. The problems are very much more complicated.
No, that is why it's so significant that this development of the global south, though it's all its dimensions are not clear yet.
Yeah, but I do want to clarify one thing. We are not saying we are leaders of the global south.
No, that's a different matter. We are non-aligned, we never claimed.
No, we say, look, let's give a voice to the global south. We are part of the voice. We have no problem.
No, but is it as against the West? No. This is the point.
It is for the global south. Again I say, it is not the West.
Not they and us.
It is not the West today. Let's take India. If you go to the market, I'm here for Vishwakarma Day today. If my craftsmen and artisans are under pressure, are they under pressure from the West?
No, that's a…
No, where are they under pressure from? Where are goods today, using subsidies and market distorting factors being produced and coming into this country? It's not coming from the West. So, I think we need to get, I'm not making a case for the West, but I would say today let's get over that old 1980s, 90s syndrome. Let us recognize the challenges of the world as it is. today the kind of globalization model where there is a concentration of manufacturing, that manufacturing is being leveraged, that manufacturing is being subsidized, that is today affecting economies of a lot of countries. And when people,
and they recognize that, the West does recognize it.
the West is beginning to recognize it, but I can tell you, when I travel in Africa or Latin America or even parts of Asia, today other than achievements, I mean, say for example, people, I cannot tell you the enormous pride which Africa had about Chandrayaan. People actually went to Prime Minister kind of, with that sense that look, we are with you, it's as much what.
Well, they see that as an ideal kind of situation.
They also see the everyday progress in India. They see an India today which is making goods for the middle class. When they see, and I go to Latin America, when there's for an Indian two-wheeler in Latin America holding its own against competition is a statement. When an Indian car goes to Mexico or to, I don't know, Colombia, it is a statement. So, it is today our manufacturing, it is our agriculture exports, it is our scientific achievements, it is our vaccines, it is our ability to vaccinate, it is the accomplishment of going to the moon. All this has created today a sense in the global south. One of us is today showing that they have the ability to stand, to grow, to progress.
And we could also one day do that.
We could also. And they identify with us in a way in which I would say they don't identify with other people.
ಇದು ಏಷ್ಯಾನೆಟ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತಿ.
ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಏಷ್ಯಾನೆಟ್ ಸುವರ್ಣ ನ್ಯೂಸ್.